Hi everyone, welcome to this Valuecase product release. We have a lot of new features again, and I will show you the most important ones in the video today. We have a new content engagement analytics dashboard. We are also shipping our HubSpot actions for true HubSpot automation. And then we also have new features for our asset library. There are a few more. You will find all of them in the changelog, on our website, in the product newsletter. However, the most important ones, as always, I will show you now. So let's dive right in. When you log into Valuecase today, you will find a new navigation item under Analytics, and these are our new content analytics. Our content analytics take all the activity data that we collect from your prospects, from your customers, and puts it into one digestible reporting that also lets you drill down quite deeply. Now, let's take a look at this. So first of all, you have the charts on the top. These basically give you a high-level overview over engagement in the last 3 months, for example, but you can also change the time frame here. You can switch between a few KPIs if you want to in these charts as well. And then we have the filters on the top that allow you to select maybe just one single template to take a look at. However, I just will keep it as is here. And you can, of course, also decide if you want to include or exclude the archived spaces. Now, let's go down here where the real meat, the real data is. We have 3 reports here, one for pages, one for blogs, and one for media items. And these reports basically show you your pages, your blogs, your media items with the most activity. You can also see how many different users come on these things and how many spaces actually have activity. So for example, this welcome page in my template HR says onboarding has 32 activities, 7 different users have actually worked with this, and then I have 4 spaces that actually generated this activity. And this is quite cool for me to know to optimize my content over time and see really what works and what doesn't. And then it can go one level deeper to the blogs. So the 3 phases of our onboarding is my top used blogs. It's in this template and it has 6 total activities. And then you can go down to the media items as well. So if you have videos, PDFs and so on, these will be listed in the media items here. And for example, for me, it's the help center that's clicked the most. Of course, this is a demo account, so it didn't collect as many activities. But if you have a few thousand spaces right over time or a few hundred with lots of engagement, this will really fill up and tell you a lot about what content is working. And really try to drill down into specific templates. That usually helps with making this data and this analysis even more relevant. Now, this is the first new feature I wanted to show you. Let's move to the second one, which are our HubSpot actions. If you've been working with Valuecase for some time, you know that we give you a lot of opportunity to automate the platform. And this includes not only the content automation and other things we have within Valuecase, but also, for example, our make.com or Zapier integrations. However, we heard you don't want to work with those external services. So now we are bringing the automation closer to where you actually work. And what this means is now with our HubSpot integration, we shipped custom workflow actions. And these actions allow you to, first of all, create Valuecase spaces fully automated from HubSpot directly and also update spaces over time. And I want to show you how to create a new space using these actions. The first thing you need to do is to set up a new workflow. I already did this, and this workflow triggers on a stage change. So if you go into this, it has a trigger. If property name, deal stage has new value onboarding to be started, this workflow will fire. And depending on your setup, you might have different triggers you want to use. For example, a deal is created, a deal is closed won, or some property changes. You can really get creative here and use the standard HubSpot triggers. And then as a next step, I added an action, and this is create a new space in Valuecase. And this is actually the new thing. So if you're adding an action and scroll down here, you will now find our app, and you can actually look into these 2 actions and add them to your workflow. Now, I already did this, and let me show you the configuration of this. So the first thing you need to do is you need to select your template. So if you're connected to Valuecase with your HubSpot account, you will see your templates here. And then you have to fill in the data we need for space creation. This is typically the company name, and you will get this if you go to HubSpot and just go to the company. And I use most recently updated here. However, you can edit the available records and add something else to this as well, like for example, the primary company or so. And then you will fill the company name. You can use the website URL, the first name, the last name. Just what's important here, your creation of a Valuecase space will of course fail if you don't give us this data, right? So it's mandatory. You have to give us this data in space creation. And then we have the contact email. I don't need this for the setup. And then we have the space owner email. Here, typically just use the deal owner's email if the deal owner has a Valuecase account. Otherwise, this won't work. And then the team, so you can skip that. And then a final thing here, which is a bit more tricky, which are our custom properties. So for example, if you have 3 products and depending on the product, you use our content automation to show and hide different content, you can pass in that property in space creation. And this is what I'm doing here. So I have a property that's called go live completed with yes or no, and I'm passing in no. And I could easily also pass in a HubSpot field. And then I have a property that's demo product. And this can have product A, product B, or both, because this is a multi-select property. So I'm passing in product A here. And this will automate the content in my space, right? If you're familiar with our content automation, you will know these properties. And if not, you don't need to worry about it. We have an explainer here, also on our help center, how to build these JSON strings. So yeah, if you need any help, also just let us know. This is the only tricky part, I would say, of these actions. Now you can save this, and then you can test it out. I also added, just for the demo, another action here, which is a Slack notification. A cool thing is our action will basically return the space URL. So for example, you could send an internal Slack notification to the deal owner that the space has been created and include the space URL, right? Just a nice touch to make this even feel even more automated. I'm going to a sample deal, which is Apple here. And as you can see, this deal doesn't have a Valuecase space. And I will just move this deal to the new stage, onboarding to be started. This might take a few seconds until the workflow fires. That's always depending on HubSpot, but I already just now got the Slack notification. So let me refresh that screen. And then you will see on the right side here, this space got created. And also when I look into the workflows, I of course try this out a bit, but you will see here, and this is basically now that the workflow activity was completed and I have my space and I can just go there. So yeah, let me just open this up just here. And I can directly go to my space, do my edits, send it out, and this just speeds you up big time, right? So you can set up this automation today, it's available, and then you can also explore our other action to actually change spaces over time. So we have an action that allows you to update the custom properties as well. For example, with that, you could show a new page after a stage change or so. Really, there's lots of creativity there. Let us know if you have any questions. We are really looking forward to seeing the automations flowing. So finally, I want to show you the updates to our asset library. I'm back in Valuecase, and if you click on asset library here, you will see this familiar interface. However, we did a lot of quality of life improvements to this. So first of all, you now have a way to multi-select. So you can click here, and then with the bar here, you can basically move these or delete these assets if you want to. So I could move these to case studies, or I could fold out this folder and move them to folder 3. And just let me do that. So you will see that these assets are gone, and I can click into this folder, and this folder, and now I have them here. Also, we improved the breadcrumb on the top. This breadcrumb will now show all levels, so I can just navigate back and forth, just making your life a lot easier. Also in your spaces, when you go there and add an asset, you will have the same ability there. And then finally, we have a new filter. So you can now filter for file types. You can also filter for creators. If you just want to search for something very specific, you can really drill down here. And you can use the same thing again when you are in a space. And let me actually switch to the space to show you the final improvement here. I'm in a space now, and here I have a media block that already has one video. However, I already saved another one here, and I can add a media item. When you are an admin or a template or space manager, you will now find a new option if you go here and just insert. We added an option to directly add to the asset library from your space or template editor. This saves a ton of clicks and also hopefully makes it easier for you to adopt the asset library and just save a lot of stuff there. So you can click on OK, and then you can select your location. So I would just save it to the root, but you can again just drill down here if you want to. You can change the description if needed, and then you can upload it. And this will add it to the blog, but also to the library centrally. And by the way, I want to show you one more thing. Let me move this to the first position. When you go to layout, you now have a new option, and this is unrelated to the asset library, but I just wanted to show you this quickly. You can now show 2 assets side by side. This is something many of you asked us for, to just have a bit more flexibility with the layouts. And this is a new thing, so you can now show 1 to 3 slides here in one view. So I hope you like these updates. There is a few more in our product release newsletter, so definitely take a look and let us know if you have any suggestions, any questions, any feedback. We are really looking forward to hearing from you. Enjoy your summer and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Still sending docs through threads like it's 99. That's right. That's right. I built a portal, now the workflow's fine. All fine. all fine. Click create space, type the name real smooth, choose a template, AI helps you move. Tweak it once and you're good to go. One link sent, now they're in the flow. No login, task and forms all lined up neat. So neat. And I see what's done like I got a front seat.